Well, hello, and welcome to Diaspora TV Australia. My name is Ambassador John. I'm so glad that you're watching. Thank you for the people of SUBUKIA, everyone that is tuned in. My special thanks for all of you. Now, so many people have been asking me questions. You live in Australia, and yet you are bringing us SUBUKIA constituency. Well, for those of you who don't know, I hail from Subukia, from a small village called Solai, Marigo in particular, and Kamukunji there. My dad is Jesse Wamuhoro. Hello, if you're watching me from Australia, thank you so much for the people of Solai, the people of Waseges, the people of Kabazi. I welcome you all to this live debate that we are going to have today. And today we are anticipating to have Honorable Mbae, and we have already in our studios Honorable Mwaura DK, who is an aspiring MP for Subukia. Now, I want to welcome you to the show. I want you to share this video as much as you can. Share with your friends, with your family. Let us bring Subukia to a standstill today. Let us all join in and also comment, share. If there are issues that we are not touching and you'd like us to touch, feel free to comment, share that comment there, and then we'll review these comments and we will interact with you. We are so glad that you're watching. I would like to thank everyone that has been part of this, organizing this debate. We have been watching online all the posters, all the cars that have these posters, the billboards and everywhere. Now this is the day and this is the time. Welcome to the show. Now I want to bring to the show Honorable DK. He's here with us. He's coming to us all the way from America. He hails from Subukia, and he's so passionate to see Subukia reaching great heights. And here he is. I would like him to introduce himself, tell us who he is, and how comes he's in America and he's vying in Subukia. His ties. Let him tell us who he is, why Subukia, and why he's the person for Subukia. Honorable DK, you're much welcome to the show. We are so glad that you are joining us all the way from America. Thank you so much for honoring the call. I welcome you to the show. Just introduce yourself and tell us who you are. Thank you, Honorable DK. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diaspora TV Australia, and for this time. And thank you so much, Ambassador John, for even finding time that we talk about these things of utmost importance of Subukia. My name's Dominic Kimaniwa Mwaura. Dominic Kimaniwa Mwaura. When I was growing up in Kabazi, a lot, even today, when I walk by the people that we have worked and fellowshipped with, they call me Dominiki. But as we developed, a lot of people now are able to refer me by my surname, which is my dad's name, Mwaura DK. Number one, because of the respect that I have for him. May the Lord rest his soul in eternal peace. He is deceased. Mwaura DK, I was born, raised in Kabazi. And I want to greet all our viewers, wherever you are, those from Kabazi, Subukia, Waseges. I went to school, Old Nyamara Primary School there. And then I joined Joro Boys High School, went to Nairobi University. And then as God blesses us and as we pray to become somebody in life, God opened an opportunity for me to come to the United States. Just like he blesses some of us to go to Juba or Mozambique or even Dubai and Qatar and other area like my friend here is in Australia. But the heart of Subukia has never left my heart. I know there is a lot of people that leave their birthplaces and they never come back. I am not like Abram. You know, Abram was told by God to leave Ur of Chaldeans and to go to a land that God shall show him and he shall make that his land. Although God took me from Kabazi to here, I never left Kabazi. And there is a reason why God had sent me out to come and experience and learn and gain all these leadership qualities that I believe I am able to bring to Subukia. Why am I running to as a member of parliament for Subukia? Ambassador John, let me tell you, and I'm not trying to equate myself, but I want to just give a reference to a scripture in the Bible, the story of Nehemiah. All of you know what happened to Nehemiah. Nehemiah lived in the king's palace. He was living well, eating well, had everything to his disposal. And but he had no peace in his heart because the wall of Jerusalem was broken. It was his people. His people didn't have leadership. They were under dictatorship. They were under constant wars. And he had the calling to go. That is the same kind of a calling I see when I see broken roads, vulnerable business environment, misappropriation of public funds, all these poor leadership skills that we have experienced in the recent past. And where I sit, I feel that Subukia needs better because Subukia is greater than any one of us. Subukia once used to be a lighthouse for tomatoes. We had factories. We had a lot of cash crops coming from Subukia, but our roads are now tattered in the 21st century, and that is painful. So where I sit, I feel like Subukia needs a good custodian for their resources, and if elected, I propose to be one. I will be a leader that is enhanced by the qualities that I have gained, but also involvement of the people in their development, because people on the ground, Wanjiko on the ground, know exactly what is ailing them. And their participation is very important in my leadership agenda. And that is why you have seen my slogan that let us change Subukia together, because Subukia is not a one-man game. We have watched one-man game for a long time with a lot of arrogance, but my kind of a leadership is to come and help rebuild that wall together, to know that a person, you cannot live in a society that the leader does not involve its people in its development. And that is why a lot of failures we are experiencing. My goal and my prayer is that I speak today with the people of Subukia and discuss the agendas and ideas that we can work together to transform our Subukia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mwaura. And now I can see Dr. Mbae has joined us. Welcome to the show, Dr. Mbae, but you're still sorting some technicalities. Um, so once we get that sorted out, we'll get Dr. Mbae into the show. I want to welcome everyone that is watching. Thank you so much, everyone that is on the show. God bless you so much. Now, we have heard about who Mwaura is and why he's vying for Subukia parliamentary position. Now, Honorable DK, let's go topic by topic. And I want you to address the issue of infrastructure. Well, when I left Kenya about 7 years ago, I was in Solai, and I can tell you the conditions of some of the roads are deplorable. We have like places where you have so many feeder roads, and some people can't access one part of the town. Now, what is your plan on how you're going to ensure that every part of the constituency has accessible roads for everyone to use?
Thank you so much, Ambassador John, for that question. That is one of the most important questions that a lot of Subukians are asking. They have had leadership in the past, and they are asking what will be different. As we know that most roads in Subukia, they are impassable. And from where I am, it is truly heartbreaking to know that despite the capacity that our members of parliament has, or the leadership that we have, there is a lot of failures to address the issue of infrastructure. And I know this when we talk about the roles of the member of parliament that I desire to vie for. he is allocated the kitty by national government constituency development fund. But most of this money, because roads, infrastructure, stuff like that, we will talk about the devolved sectors. Part of his kitty that he is allocated is supposed to cater for security. When we talk about security, we are talking about construction of police posts and general security concern and chiefs offices. And then we will talk about education. He has a role to build and renovate classes from class 1 to Form 4. And he's supposed to be involved in motivating learners and teachers and involved in transformation of our education in Subukia, which has also failed terribly, as we know by the performance of the last few years. Um, he has the capacity to work on bringing training institute like TVET in our constituency, and also infrastructure, constructions of schools and institutions. That is also infrastructure. But however, roads are not part of this NGCDF fund. And any MP using them for roads, they need to answer to the general auditor for misappropriation. What I'm saying is, being the case as a member of parliament, as a representative of the people, you should know every road in your constituency. Why? Because we have elected you to be our representative, to be our advocate, to stand on our behalf. And that is why a member of parliament has a very good chance of fighting for our road system, lobbying from the State Department of Infrastructure under the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. And this is, there is an act that was established in 2007 to have some of the roads in the constituency considered and allocated several kilometers. And while sitting in parliament committee, the elected member of parliament is able to lobby and to have a bargaining power to seek for roads in the constituency. And this is what I am putting myself for, because we need somebody who understands purely the problem of Wanjiko on the ground and is able to take those problems to the right departments to lobby and work and debate. There is a Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and we know that the role of Kenya Rural Roads Authorities is to develop and rehabilitate, maintenance, and even manage rural roads in the country. So my position will be to lobby and work with these organizations, branches of the government and bodies of the government that have been allocated that power to construct and upgrade and rehabilitate our roads. Actually, a lot of our roads are still poor because they have not been constructed yet. So we are talking about rehabilitation and maintenance. Some roads that were constructed before for many years ago have gone to tatters and they need to be rehabilitated. So access roads, poor access road is directly felt by mwananchi wa kawaida. And that is why even our development is poor, because we are not able to bring our goods to the market. We are not able to attend schools well. Our children walk long distances in the 21st century in poor roads. And we lack a vocal and a visionary member of parliament who rests while these constituents are suffering. My goal is to give the best services that the government can provide, to work and know which resources are available for these purposes. And the government role is to provide infrastructure for its citizens. And the member of parliament is in a very good position to go and lobby. And you can look around the country, because this is not something we can hide under the, just sweep under the rug. Go to other constituencies and see where their sitting member of parliament are busy out there lobbying for constructions of roads, and see the transformation that has happened in their constituency. So my goal is to come and identify all these resources that are available in all these government bodies that are supposed to come and rehabilitate, build, and construct new roads. Thank you.
If I may stop you there, um, we've heard this before from other members of parliament. How would you guarantee that you are going to do it when others have come, say the same thing, and then we only hear from them for during the campaign period? After that, we don't see them anymore. How can you guarantee that you are the men?
And I need to make this very clear. Thank you so much for that question. The reason why I'm very confident that I will be different on the ground is because, number one, to be a leader, you have to understand people's problem. And to understand people's problem and offer solutions, you have to be a godly person. A godly person who will not misappropriate public funds. Accountability and transparency has lacked in the former governments and former leaderships. My goal is to provide pure, transparent leadership and being a custodian of those resources that are available, no matter how small. Let me tell you, Abansida Kamau, what we need is not only a politician on the ground. We need a leader. A politician is there to work on implementation and creation of laws and regulations and registration. But a leader is supposed to manage. We need a manager. What we have lacked is managers that will come and work with the people of Subukia. Remember, I in my introduction, I mentioned about how I intend to work with the people of Subukia by public participation and involving them in the development of our constituency. My goal is to work with them. Contract za kutengeneza barabara ziende kwa watu wa Subukia, watu wa nyumbani, vijana wawe ndio wanafanya kazi hizo. Although we will have procurement for these contracts and they will be on merit basis, but what I'm saying is involve people in growth and development. What we have lacked in the past is public participation. We have lacked involvement. We are not involved in some of the development, even though there is some public participation, but we are not involved directly into the development of our constituencies. So when it comes to infrastructure and roads, my goal is to work with Wanjiko on the ground, involve them in development, involvement in public participation, and in contracting for these same kind of jobs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mwaura. Now we have Dr. Mbae on the line, but we seems to not to be getting his video. I'll try and see if we can get you, Dr. Mbae. Can you just talk to us and see if people can hear you?
Good afternoon. This is afternoon here. Good afternoon, Ambassador Kamau and DK there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So here I am. I don't know what the problem with the video, but I can see DK. I can see you, and if you can hear me, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm on here. I'm on here, Ambassador. I can see both of you, and I'm here.
Yeah, you are the one on the left, but yours is blank. just keep going.
Okay. Yeah, can I proceed?
Yes, proceed. Just introduce yourself because we haven't heard from you tonight. Just tell us why you are the candidate for Subukia, and just tell us who you are in general so that people can know you in Diaspora TV.
Thank you very much. Ambassador, my name is Dr. Peter Mbae. I'm a member of the County Assembly right now for Kabazi. Subukia constituency has 3 wards, Kabazi, Waseges, and Subukia. Kabazi is the biggest ward by population and by registered voters. So Kabazi has 41,000 population, Subukia 33,000, Waseges 31,000. We have 19,200 registered voters. Yeah, Kabazi has 19,000, about 200 registered voters. Subukia about 17,000 and some hundreds, and Waseges has about 16,000 registered voters. Now, I have been a member of the County Assembly. Before I used to work as the membership of Kenodia Bogwa. And after serving half my term, I just decided what I'm seeing in Kabazi is not what I would want to see. And like somebody said, be the change you want to see. So I resigned voluntarily. Half my term, I had 3 years to go as a member of the Public Service Board. I mean, earning 3 times the salary that is the salary of the MCA. I mean, not for anything, not for money, not for anything. I went to serve Kabazi. And one thing I did, Ambassador, when we were sworn in, I got public participation meetings across Kabazi ward, and we met. And I told them, look here, you have done your part. I have come now so that you can send me to do exactly what you want. And so we took up agendas. They said everything, and we picked up 5 agendas. 1 is water, number 2 is infrastructure, number 3 was health and all that. So, in short, when I resigned, I had meant to go for 5 years in Kabazi. Mark this, 5 years. It's not now I'm deciding to run for MP. I had known I'm going to Kabazi for 5 years, lay a foundation of development, number 1, and number 2, set a new standard of leadership. After that, I would go for MP. That was 2017 when I resigned as a member of the Public Service Board. Now, what have we done in a nutshell? Now, from what I see, I have been releasing my own report cards each August since 2018. 2019, 2020, I've just done my 4th year report card. Now, in that report card, Ambassador, it says everything. What have we done on water? How many projects have we accomplished? What have we done on infrastructure? It's there. I mean, it's voluntary. The good thing about it, when we picked the issues in 2018, we launched the Kabazi Model Transformation Framework for 5 years. It is there, printed. It was launched by none other by the Deputy Governor of Nakuru County Government, who came to Kabazi to launch it, to say, this is what Kabazi people have said. It's there. It's in print. So what somebody can do, Ambassador, is just to pick what we agreed 4 years ago, compare with what is on the ground. It's simple. Now, my own assessment, remember, I meant there to go and lay a foundation. What have I achieved so far? By the grace of God and the cooperation of the people, partnership and all that, is about right now is 70 to 75%. Now, we are not yet. We are still working on this year's budget. We have about 30 million to Kabazi. We have another headquarter projects of about 40, 50 million. So but when I'm doing my final report, exit report in July next year, I'll have achieved 80 to 85% of what we agreed with the people of Kabazi. Now, after doing that, naturally, I want now to go to SUBUKIA to do the same.
I can stop you there. If you say what you agreed with the people of Kabazi, sorry, I'm talking about Solar because I come from. If that is what you agreed with the people of Kabazi and you have achieved about 85%, is that the same thing they would say on the ground, that you have achieved 85%?
You see, now that's a good question now for people like you, Ambassador, and the people on the ground to say. Mine is to say, this is how I would want to be measured. I did this report. We met. These are the agendas we agreed. And this is what I intend to do. By the time I do my exit report in July next year, I'll have achieved. Remember, government goes by cycles, right? As we speak right now, there are some projects I'm pushing. Right now, there are projects I'm pushing. So by the time I do my exit report, which I'll do in print, I'll publish a report. I'll have managed that. Now, for people to say about the progress, there's something called progress. For example, what I want to be measured with is my 4th year report card, which is already out, dated August 2021. That one I'm ready to answer any question on that report, because I did the report as a voluntary, remember, my own check report for myself. I want to check myself. What have I done? Okay, this year, what have you achieved? I release a report every year.
Yeah. So now, and if I may ask, we are talking about the aspirant for SUBUKIA constituency. But what you're telling us now is what you have achieved as an MCA for Kabazi ward. Now, I want to get clarification from you. What is the separation of duties between the MCA and the MP, such that we can be able to measure this is what the MCA has done? Like, for example, somebody can stand and say, what you're talking about there is the MP who has done that. So where is the line? Who has done what? if you're talking about the report you're talking about, is it as a collaboration between you and the MP or and the governor, or it's just all your work, or what? Who does what?
Thank you, Ambassador. I'll mention that first because I was going to move now from MCA to MP. Now, quickly, what I have done is the work I've done as Peter Mbae. This is my work. This is my role as of legislation. You will see the bills there I've done, motions and all that. Representation.
But
how
if
much
you say
have
it's
I
your work,
picked the
is it
problem?
not your obligation? Or are you talking about things that you do out of your own initiative? Are you the role of an MCA, the role of an MP? Are those are some of the duties that you're supposed to do?
Now, my work as an MCA is representation, to pick issues on the ground and engage them with government, both county and national government. Now, I have not done a report for the MP. I don't hold brief for the MP. I have done my work of oversight, legislation, representation. If you look at the report, Ambassador, maybe next time you'll have the benefit of going through the report. You'll see the partners that I have worked with, right from the governor, county assembly. You know, there are some things I've done, gone to Nairobi and gotten some electricity and all that, right? So that is my efforts as a personality. So now to move you, this is what I'm saying, Ambassador. That's what I've achieved using the same model. Now, this is important. I want to move to SUBUKIA, therefore, because by my standards, I've done what I said I'm gonna do to set a foundation, and I move on. Now, this is important. I have done 10 years. I've done 5 years in the executive, 5 years in the assembly. I am done with the county government. I am going out to the national government to provide the link between the county and the national government. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I am intended to do 5 years in SUBUKIA, Ambassador, to set a firm foundation on development, and I'm coming to that line now, which developments, and number 2, to set a standard of leadership. There has been a lot of jokes about leadership in SUBUKIA. Jokes. I mean, who is that supposed to be elected? Those are issues that have never been seen. So in a nutshell, I'm going to SUBUKIA to do one, to lay a foundation that future MPs can see that we did. It's like Kabazi. I've already set the foundation. We have already done water, for example. We have identified water. We have done the SORA and all that. It's now piping. We have already set the foundation. Now, SUBUKIA, my lord, is simple, so that I become very targeted. I want 5 years, and by the way, I'm looking for 1,000 days. That's about 3 years, by which SUBUKIA will have moved from where it is now, about 35%. By the way, if you lay SUBUKIA with other constituencies in Kenya, we are about 35%. We want to move that to 70% on issues of infrastructure, on water, electricity connection, education, and all that. Now, that's in a nutshell, Ambassador, is me. Of course, I'm going to go to the details on each one of them, but that is me. I am all set to go lay a foundation and go away. I am not intending to have one term after another.
I'll ask you the question I asked DK before. We have seen this in the past. So many people have been members coming to campaign in SUBUKIA. Before we used to call it, I think, Koibatek, or we used to call it Rongai. And we used to see a lot of people come to campaign, become MP, then we'll never see them again until the last year of their tenure. And then they will do some developments then just to get them back on. Can't we say that this is just the same ploy? It's just what's going to repeat itself?
Ambassador, that's a bit, and I'll say this. It's a good question because this thing helps. It disturbs so many people. Ambassador, I am not looking to become MP because I have nothing else to do. I'm here because I have other things I would have done, which I have left. And for the love of the people, because of service, I have decided to come in and be part of the community, to be able to transform this community. I do my part and tell God by the time you gave me. So in short, the problem that, Ambassador, we have in Kenya and maybe in Africa, the kind of people who come to look for these positions, they come because mainly they want positions for the sake of it. They want to use the positions to gain wealth, titles, and all that. The problem is we are not able to know the kind of capacity or the person before we elect them. Ambassador, people don't change. It's only that they camouflage, and like you are saying, during election time. That's why I'm asking people of Subukia, how do you even think of voting in someone? Find out their lifestyle for the last 10 years. Where have they, so that you don't risk, you reduce the level of risk. Where have they been? What have they done? Look, I mean, I am here because of my passion. How is it? I've done 5 years in Kabazi. How have I behaved? Before that, I was in the public service. How did I behave? So why did I leave a higher paying job to come to MCA, a low paying job? Ambassador, today, even if I go for MP, I'll be called Mweshimua for 5 years. But today I'm called a PhD holder. I can go and do much more. But I said, no, I'm not going to leave Subukia to other people with no capacity. I have to come down first. Remember what Nehemiah did? Nehemiah left the king and said, King, I can be here living very well, but I want to leave this thing to go and repair the broken walls of Jerusalem. I have left the good things of the king. I would have finished my term as a member of the Public Service Board and maybe going to the national government and living very well. But I said, I'll go to the trenches. Ambassador, it was not easy even getting the MCA seat, because there were people there and they were saying, this guy has resigned from a job to come and look for a job. I told them, you are wrong. I'm not coming for a job. I left a job. I'm coming to serve. Look, that is the difference. Ambassador, I wish our people can know to discern the issues of motive. Why am I vying? That is important, Ambassador. Number two, many people will come there because they have nothing else to do. I mean, they have come to the end of their lives. Others, they just want to go down with the people. So what am I saying here, Ambassador? I know what I'm doing. I'm here because I am very clear in my mind. Ambassador, in 4 years, I can paint for you a picture. The picture I have for Subukia, the one I had for Kabazi, and it's at 75%. I can tell you today what will Subukia look like. And I'm not talking from from the air. I have been here. I know what I've done as an MCA. I already know what I was not able to do because I'm not an MP. And I know then what I can do very quickly. Today, sitting here, I can tell you the committees I'm going to join in National Assembly that are going to help our people. So, in short, I'm sorry for all what has happened, Ambassador, in Subukia, where people have elected people and they have become disappointed. I want to tell Subukia people for the first time, after this election in August, I want you to go home and relax and wait for work to be done. You'll have done your bit about nomination. You have done your bit about elections, electing Dr. Mbae. Can you relax and wait for your sons and daughters to do your bit?
Thank you so much, Dr. Mbae. You'll still have more input to put in this. Now, DK, you have heard Dr. Mbae. He's talked quite in length, and he said that one point that I gathered there, that people need to, before they vie, they need to explain where they have been for the last 5 years or so. Now, I think that is a question that was targeted to you. Do you want to respond to that?
No, Ambassador, I didn't. But Ambassador, point of clarification, Ambassador. I was not, by the way, for just for record, I'm here to talk about Subukia, by the way. I in no way here to talk about anybody. I have so much to talk about Subukia and myself. I don't have time to talk about people, Ambassador. I am very clear about my mind.
I agree. I
came
agree.
here to
All
talk.
I'm saying is, some issues when they are discussed, they will touch on other people. That's one thing that touched on DK. I want him to come clean and tell us what he has to say about that.
Thank you, Ambassador. And when we were studying, I don't think Mbae, Honorable Mbae was in, so I want to say hello to my good friend, Dr. Mbae. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, my brother.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been telling this.
Yes. Of course, Dr. Mbae has articulated well what he has done, which is good. What he didn't tell you is we have been involved with him in his leadership for quite some time. Even when he decided to vie, because he's an old-time friend, he came to me. And he told me, Mwaura DK, I know you are a good leader. So the first person who identified my leadership skills was Mbae, because he came looking for me to help him, discuss ideas on how we can transform Subukia.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he also mentioned the issue of Nehemiah, and fortunately or unfortunately, was my opening statement about Nehemiah.
Yeah,
The difference
quite a
between me and
coincidence.
my good friend, the difference between me and my good friend is he's already in Jerusalem and the wall is breaking. I'm sitting here in the in
In
the king's
Judea.
palace, and I can see where the wall has broken. So that I think applies more to somebody who is watching from a vantage point. But to mention where I have been, and I know he was not targeting Mwaura DK specifically, but he was targeting on assessment. Let the people of Subukia assess our leadership skills. Um, there is a lot of people who have mentioned that huyo mtu ako majuu sijui nini nini. Let me tell you something. It is very important to thank God that some of us, God has given an opportunity to find exposure of how other countries and how other developed nations operate their governments and operate their affairs and grow their economy and care about its people, care about the vulnerability of its people, care about the healthcare of its people. So there is a Kikuyu saying that says, I don't know whether I'm supposed to speak in another language. Mũndũ tathiaga ugaga no nyina orugaga wega. So I'm not ashamed to say that God opened a door for me, just like He opens door for people to go to Nairobi to work and come back to Subukia, to go to Mombasa to work, to go to Subukia. I hear some people even in Nairobi, when you live in Rongai, they say you are in diaspora. So that's diaspora
It's big.
is a training ground. What I am going to say is there is a lot of people who have left our homeland and never came back. I have been with the people of Subukia. The reason why Dr. Mbae was able to reach for me when he vied, even when he was vying, we were the people that we used to call Kabazi professionals that are outside there that have succeeded, that will help transform Subukia. And we have tried, but the wall is still broken. There is a lot of misappropriation of public funds. There is a lot of stalled projects. There is a lot of monies that cannot be explained where they are. And it is good that my good friend is putting up the scorecard. But it is also important to know some of these scorecard, it is good to have an outside auditor to come and give their report. If I'm honestly asked to rate myself, how I behave as a parent, I'll give myself 10 out of 10. How I behave as a manager, 10 out of 10. But some other people are able to do that. In my workplace here, because I am in the healthcare, I'm able to supervise different departments. And when I do that, I am able to offer my supervision and give scorecards on how other people are doing in other departments. And I have my superiors that also come and supervise me and give me a report. Where I go wrong, they tell me. Where I need to rectify, they tell me. And where I am good, which I have been for quite some time, they always tell me. So it is good to know that the people of Subukia require a servant, not a chest thumping leader. Not arrogance. They are weak. They lack healthcare, they lack sanitization, they lack water, they lack roads. All these are walls that have been broken, and there are resources to do that. What they need is leadership. Somebody who is able to see. Not only that, somebody who is able to lobby on their behalf, not only in the country, but also outside the country. Organizations and friends who we can bring, or corporations and organizations that can come and help transform our people of Subukia.
Wow, thank you so much, Honorable Mwaura. Now, I want to go to Facebook. I can see Jeshia Subukia iko hapa kabisa. I can see everyone that is watching. Thank you, Lucy Kamach, Wamaida, Jessica Di Karanja, Sam Revivalist, Esther Njoroge. I can see you, Mr. Stephen Kagenya, Clifton Angunza, Mother Getao, Wamaida Jesse. You are saying, everyone here is saying they are following. Zippy Moa, Susan Jerry, Kingata. And I want to bring a comment here from Sam. He says, we have a big problem that infrastructure. We need people to think irrationally, cry for the youth. I guess he meant to think rationally. For sure, someone says here, it's for you, DK. How will DK transform Subukia in abroad? And he's saying, tell DK to come on the ground. Uh, there are so many people here who are commenting. And someone is asking whether they can ask questions. Yes, ask questions and we shall read them here live. Thank you so much, everyone that has joined us today. Now we continue. We are going to the next topic. I want these guys to discuss this topic. Now it's about electricity. Now, I have been following the forums online about Solai and other areas, and there has been a problem where installation of electricity in homes has been selective. We have seen some people have electricities and others don't. Now, some people are being skipped. They are next to the transformer, but people who are very far from the transformer are getting electricity. I want to start with Honorable Mbae here, who is a sitting MCA and has overseen some of these projects. What are your plans on making sure that every home has electricity and we avoid this corruption of people being skipped and stuff like that? Honorable Mbae.
Ambassador, would you want me to touch on the infrastructure, because I know you had given DK had mentioned about that? Do you want me to start with that quickly?
Let's talk about electricity, because I've just talked about it. Then we'll go to infrastructure next.
Okay. Now I'll be brief. Now I would say this: electricity is mainly the law of the national government. However, when I was working with the office of the governor, then I initiated a major program of electricity connection in many parts of Kabazi ward. And Ambassador, I told myself, the fact that I got elected MCA, it's not directly the law of the MCA to do electricity. I will proceed with what I had begun. The same way I would proceed with what I had begun. I have been able so far to oversee about 7, 8, 10 schemes from the, because I went saw the PS for energy and he sent me to REREC, to Kenya Power. I've been working on that for the last 6 years before I became MP. And it's important to mention, Ambassador, kindly note this. These are projects I started in 2016 before I became MCA and before the current MP became MP. So let's be clear about this conflict all over the place. And so far, I've done Marigo, the 2 transformers, Mahinga, 1 transformer, Mirimani Kihoto, 1 transformer, a place called Maombi up there, Matuto. I've done Nyakenyua, 2 transformers. Last week we have light Soweto in Kabazi. We have Bombo. We have Gatune already on the ground. A place called Edao, Baraka, and others. Arahoka, Mutukanio, they are in the process. The requests are pending. Now, this is what I can tell you. Because for me, I'll start with what have I done and what I'm going to do. Like I said, for me, it's continuation. I don't need to go begin introducing myself in the office of the PS, REREC, or so and so. They know me as an MCA. I just need to go and say, hey guys, we have done this. And by the way, Kabazi is part of SUBUKIA, right? So if Kabazi is one of the biggest wards and we have done ABCD, we simply go and say, this is what we are remaining to do. So this is what I intend to do, Ambassador. After the election in August, we are going to have public participation meetings in September. 1 meeting in Lower Subukia, another meeting in Subukia Center, another meeting in Teto for that area, another meeting in Subukia Valley for the 6 villages around there, another meeting in Kabazi, another in Solai, another in Dogeri. 7 meetings. Now, for the agenda of electricity, I'll be having that my public participation meetings will be attended by the DC, the national government representatives in all the programs. We are going to have county government because we want to work together. One of the things, Ambassador, I'm going to do is to stem the duplication and the wastage because of competition between the national government representative and the county government. So we are going to have to be together. Now, I'm going to ask the Kenya Power people and the REREC to go to every farm within Subukia constituency within 90 days and do all the designs of every farm that has not been connected to electricity. Now, and I want, Ambassador, for you to mark my words. I have said September. Once we are sworn in, I will not wait for salaries. I will go and do very quick planning. Within 90 days, Ambassador, Every home that is not connected to electricity in Subukia constituency, I will
We'll be
have the
waiting.
reference numbers on my desk. Okay? I will have the reference numbers on my desk. After that, I will go and plan for 3 years, 3 budget years, and make sure at least I get 100 transformers every year. That's about 300 transformers. That's about, we are going to have connected about 30,000 people within 3 years. In short, today, as per statistics, Ambassador, by 2016, Subukia had a penetration of that 3% only. In 100 homes, only that 3 homes had electricity. In Bahati today, out of 100 homes, only 5 don't have electricity. Now, by 2016, Subukia was second last. Only Kuresoi South was number 11. Subukia was number 10 in terms of connectivity of electricity. So I want to move that from that 3%. Of course, we have done a bit of work for these 3 years, but I want to move that from that 3 to at least 75% by 2025. Now, that is achievable. That is something you can measure. You can come back in 2025 and measure that, whether it is
We'll
there.
do the statistics.
These statistics, Ambassador, these statistics are with Kenya Power. So we'll call them again in 2025 and ask, where is the connectivity today? Now, I am a scientist, right? I'm a researcher. I'm a scholar, Ambassador. I do my work based on research, timelines, work plans. I plan. And by the way, I'm not meant to come and fail in Subukia. I am meant to come and do my work and move on. So I have no time for jokes, things like you are not sure. We want, Subukia needs a Marshall Plan, Ambassador. It needs somebody who knows what to do, when, and how. I mean, we are not going to hear stories about, I'm going to do water, I'm going to do infrastructure, no. We want, tell us how, when, so we can approve. We can know whether you are when and how. Because you can give us fake promises that we have been told before. We want to, I will say, I've done 11, 15 schemes as an MCA. I can do another 100 as MP for 3 years. Now, that is what I'm bringing to the table. My 5 agenda, all of them, they have timelines. I can tell you what I'll do the first day, the second day in office, because I know. I can tell you the committees I'm going to join in National Assembly, because I know what I've done in the county, and I know the powerful committees. I have all that laid up. So in short, that's my plan for electricity. I'm going to achieve that 75% connectivity by 2025.
Wow, thank you so much. That seems like a good plan, and we are going to come and follow on that if that doesn't get achieved, because Subukia is at the heart of Diaspora TV. Now, our Honorable Mwaura, what is your plan on electricity? And we have had these issues, selective homes getting electricities and others being missed. What is your plan to ensure this doesn't happen and everyone has access to electricity?
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Let me say this. Just like infrastructure, electrification is not a favor you do to your citizens. It's a right. They have a right to power. They have a right to energy. They have a right to the resources, the government. That is an infrastructure part of the government. And as you know, electrification does not fall under the national government CDF. But as a sitting MP, you are in a position to lobby in the Ministry of Roads and all other relevant ministries. You are able to sit on parliamentary committees, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, and being a vocal leader, because this is where leadership comes in. Being a vocal leader, you are able to sit in those committees and lobby and have Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation and also Rural Electrification Authority to have the left out areas and homesteads to be connected. And when we use these for political marriage, I feel it hurts me when we do this, because people in Kabazi Center that have, for example, that have electricity, they have the same rights as people in Dongeri, Kirima Dongeri, or Arahoka that are suffering, or Suswa, or Kiforonjo that are suffering. So making sure that the left out, and I use that word deliberately, the left out. And you mentioned that in your question that there are some people who are deliberately left out. You feel like there are some people who are being skipped for whatever reasons. Maybe wanajuana na mkubwa. What I'm saying is, when we talk about public participation and involving Subukians in their development, involving them also in this is very important. Our goal and my goal is to be a vocal leader for SUBUKIA, and that is what we call representation. A vocal leader will be able to have rural electrification and electrification of the left out people, and at least in the next 2 years, to have 98% of our SUBUKIAs connected to the electric grid. The secret, and Dr. Mbae has said, is how to get out there, how to know. He has said very well that these people know him. That is why he has been able to achieve them. Now, when we talk about leadership, I think that is part of what corruption comes in. When you have you are helped because you know somebody. We need to offer oversight over these bodies and bodies that regulate and also manage electrification. When we talk about lobbying and going and finding, you are representing your people. My goal is to make sure that we put the proposals in place and follow them until they are fulfilled. So I have an agenda to meet with all these bodies that I've mentioned and to lobby and put proposals. And in my first 2 years, 98% of our constituency will be connected to the national grid.
Well, thank you so much, DK. Now, still on this issue of electricity, somebody is asking you, Dr. Mbae, can you please explain this issue of homes that were skipped during electricity? Were you aware or not?
Thank you, Ambassador. Now, I've had a particular area called Marigo, and I have done 10 schemes already. So, but there is a problem that arose. I was later told there was a lot of, and I want to say this, there was a lot of mismanagement on how some people were left out, others were skipped and all that. I got those complaints, Ambassador. Now, what I did beyond that,
are you saying people being skipped is a complaint?
Yeah, I got what you're saying. I got it. No, I said I had the complaints. I had those issues.
Oh, you had the complaints.
By the people.
Okay.
I've been told. Even people have come to me personally, right? So I cannot deny that I've not had in Marigo, right? So
yeah.
Number one, what I did going forward with the other schemes, I have been more hands-on, like to know, excuse me, this is what's gonna be done. Can you follow them up? Because Ambassador, there's normally a design. There's normally a design that is normally funded. To say you don't have to pay anything and you are supposed to get up to a meter without paying a coin. You go and fill a form, you pay money over 3 years. That is a law. So I tell them in the public meetings, if I find anybody paid someone 2,000, 1,000 to get a cable, then that is corruption. Actually, they are the ones who they should actually go and answer where they are allowing themselves to be corrupt. Because I say, this is money, 10 million. 15 million to come and finish everything. Put a pole.
So has anything been done to the people responsible for this?
Now, those are things that I asked the people to give me. Unfortunately, you go and tell people who did this. I mean, they are not able to come forward and say this is what was done to me. Because remember, if you come and tell me that you gave money for a free project, then you should come and tell us why you did that. Because all the other people got it for free. Now, but Ambassador, let's look for a way forward. I asked the designers from Kenya Power. They have gone back to Marigo. Every home that was left out for one reason or another. As we speak, I have the reference number. I've already taken up to Nairobi. I'm pushing for funding because we have to look for a solution as leaders. So what I did, I said, okay, fine, I hear you. There were issues, and it's true. Some homes were skipped because of one reason or another, collaboration and all that. But then, what can I do as a leader? Because I mean, it's not me who instigated the skipping. I mean, it's not me. Me, I did the designs for everyone. But sometimes the people who are there was some mismanagement. So what Ambassador have done as a way forward, I've asked Kenya Power people to go back there. Already they have done. They have given me the reference numbers for the areas, and I'm pushing for funding. Because remember, at the end of the day, the goal is to make sure everybody is covered. So I want, if they are listening to me, Marigo people to know, I got it. I'm very sorry for what happened. But yes, everybody who does, all the way to Costa Rica, and I'm sure you know Costa Rica, all the way to Costa Rica, all those homes there, we want them covered in one scheme. Those are two transformers, one in Upper Marigo, the other one in Costa Rica, so that story is done. So we are working on it as we speak.
Thank you for the apology. I know so many people watching hurting. Thank you, Mother Gitao, for that question. I know your home may have been skipped. We hope this doesn't recur. In the next election, I hope whoever wins between the two of them or any other person, I hope this will not recur and they will follow up on their promises. Now, to move on to the next topic, we are going to talk about infrastructure. Now, DK had talked about it. I'll give this chance to Dr. Mbae to explain, because infrastructure in Subukia is such a thorn in the flesh. I live just below Getora there, and I know it's very hard to access those parts of Getora. The roads are not good. Even leading to the shopping center. If someone has a medical issue, medical emergency up there in Getora, to get to access to a healthcare center, it will be very hard in some places. Now, what is your plan on ensuring an elaborate infrastructure network in Subukia constituency?
I thank you, Ambassador. I'll be brief. One, I want to assure you, Ambassador, today, if you went to Getora today, you may not recognize it. It's not as bad as you left it. Number one, the road from Mongedo to Kabazi Hospital, to Kabazi Center, it was not easy. We have worked on that road continuously until we made it passable. And did Maram all the way from Mongedo, all the way to Pale Musho. We have done that section of that road, you remember, where there were stones up there. We have done that all the way Maram up to Kabazi Center. That is one. Number two, Kera is working, to give credit, is working on that road from Solai all the way up there. Now, I can assure you, Mahinga, all those other places. So, remember, Kabazi is part of Subukia. We have achieved quite some bit. And I can tell you, opening of roads. Today, we have just completed a whole month of doing roads from Costa Rica all the way to Kwamaziwa, Marigo, and all that area, Kenya, Akwisi. There's a bit of issue of Maram we are going to do. We have done most of Subukia. We started in Kabazi. We are doing the areas of Solai now. We are moving to Kirema Dongeri all the way to Rego, then come back and finish in Kabazi. Now, what is my plan? Remember, there's nothing as beautiful, Ambassador, as somebody who has been there, struggling and fighting and finding ways to do. When you move on, you are able to see the gaps. Now, that is key. This is my plan. Again, in September, we are going to agree which roads needs to be done. Now, there are two ways to go about it. Number one, the work of an MP, Ambassador, this is very important, is not to go doing Marams every year. No, that is a problem. There are MPs who have robbed for over 280 kilometers of tarmac during this year, during this jubilee period. You can hear me, Ambassador?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
okay. It's your video that has gotten lost, but it's okay. So, but now, this is what my plan is. Ambassador, mark my words. The first budget as an MP, I'm gonna lobby for the tarmacking of the road from Solai all the way to Getora, all the way to Kabazi Center, all the way to Magomano, a place called Kerengero, Kahiga, and Way. That is one road that I have already informed the deputy president, who is my party leader, who we are pushing to be elected next year, Dr. Ruto. He knows that that is one road that we intend to tarmac. Now, listen to this, the Ambassador. As an MCA, I have been tarmacked as we speak. In the next 1 or 2 weeks, it will be done. As an MCA, it's good to say, what did you do? Why is it that you are so passionate about tarmac? Why are you not passionate as an MCA? Now look, remember, David, he killed some things, some lions that were bothering, some wolves that were bothering his sheep. And he said, the same way I did this, I'm going to kill Goliath. Now, you cannot come from nowhere. You have never killed even one sheep, even one lion or a wolf.
That's a good illustration.
No, sorry. Both of us, the beauty about this, we are all Christians. Even DK is a Christian. He's actually a preacher. He preaches at night, some stations. So we all believe in God. That's why we are using the parables. David said, I have killed this. So I'm saying, I have done tarmac for Kabazi. All the way to the hospital. Kabazi Hospital is tarmacked. All the way to my office in Kabazi. I'm going to say this as an MP, because county cannot afford more money for tarmacking of long roads. That is number one. Number two, I'm going to push for the tarmacking of Mairukumi Nambiri all the way to Kitul, to Mutukanioe, connecting Baringo. The unfortunate bit is this, Ambassador. That road has been tethered There was a site visit in 2018, and that is the end of the story. And this one, when you meet the MP, it's not bad to ask him. When you meet the MP next time, ask him where he has been when other MPs have been getting to 180 kilometers. A road that was already, people went for a site visit. It's just a matter of going to the National Treasury and releasing the money. That is another key road. Another that road, Tamakin first. Let's go to Tamakin. From Wagetau all the way to Marigobire, Gogo, Kingo Church, connecting that road. And finally, we have been promised the road from Wangaza. That is a key road. And let me tell you, I want to thank SUBUKIA professionals, led by our chairman, Professor Mwaura. Professor Mwaura and all of us are members of that group. We have been pushing for that road from Wangaza to Simboyon, to Kanyotu, to Bogoine, all the way to Kivoronjo. Those key roads, if you can say that you can do those roads for the first 3 years, we are going to open to transform that area in a big way. Now, what about local roads? Now, Ambassador, this is my plan. We are going to collaborate very closely with the MCAs, because most of those inner roads, they are county roads. But the county sometimes don't have the capacity to do all the feeder roads. We are going to partner such that we are going to agree, MCA, what is your plan? Remember, we have had problems in the past whereby as an MCA, I start to do a road, the MP comes and says it's going to do the same road. Why? Because of competition, which is not necessary. When there's competition between the two arms of government, it is the Mwananchi who is a taxpayer who loses. So I'm going to be very deliberate on this. We are going to partner and say, no, what can you do? How much can I come and help? I'm going to do the most rough roads, which needs to get inside through KERA. KERA is a government agency, right? Which is the patron or rather controlled by the MP. We are going to collaborate, and I can tell you within, again, 3 years, again, 1,000 days. Why 1,000 days? Because I want the SUBUKIA people to give like a half-term report to say, what have we achieved? In short, during the month of September, we are going to identify roads. When I'm walking myself in SUBUKIA and Waseges, I'm able to be told some roads. So you come and partner. For example, let me give an example of Monanda. Monanda, it's like Mahinga. The roads are very narrow. What will kura barabara kabisa? Come on, instead of leaving that work to the MCA who may not have the capacity, you come and get excavators to go and open up the roads. Come and do maram. I mean, it's possible. Now, what I've done, Ambassador, with about 10 million to do the roads for Kabazi, an area of which is equivalent to 3 former wards. KERA money is 10 times. We can do marvelous. If we utilize, we sit together with the county government, we agree, we map up the roads. Actually, Ambassador, one meeting, we can map up all the roads for SUBUKIA. And we do them for 3 consecutive years. That will be history. We are going to achieve 80% of passable roads within SUBUKIA. How am I going to do it? I know the networks, the partnerships. By the way, knowing people is a big social capital. And that's how I want us to do.
Let us hope that these are not just empty promises, like I said before, like those we have had in the past. Let's hope that's not the case. Now, because you've explained in detail, I would like to bring...
Ambassador, 1 minute. Let me say this, Ambassador.
Yeah.
I in my capacity as a trained person, from where I've come from and experienced, I don't have capacity to make false promises. I don't have that capacity. I have capacity to give pledges. And Ambassador, we are looking at a new breed of political leaders in SUBUKIA, by the way. We are looking at, and by the way,
I have to say is, remember, the internet doesn't forget. So we'll be back here to question you on the same, your own pledges. Yeah, are you still there? So the internet doesn't forget at all. So like this video will be saved and people can watch it in those 3 years that you're talking about, and we'll be able to use it as a review of the promises that you are making.
That's why I'm here, Ambassador. That's why I'm seated here. That's why I'm making them. Because I know. I know. SUBUKIA needs a Marshall Plan. I know exactly where SUBUKIA should be and will be in those years I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about that. And every leader who comes here must give specifics, not to say, oh, health, oh, no. Come and tell us by when, which road,
Yes.
which road.
Thank
I've
you
told
for
you about
that.
the past budget. Yes.
Now, DK, you had talked about infrastructure, but I know you still can't have something to respond to what Dr. Mbae has said, but just keep it in brief so that we can wrap up in the next few minutes.
Yes, this is important. Thank you so much, Ambassador John. Every time I visit, and I visit regularly to my people, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, people we went to school with in the Mwaura Primary School, the road network is pathetic. It's pathetic in our ward, it's pathetic in our constituency. And one of the things that my good friend has mentioned is that an MCA will try to do a road and then the MP will come and claim there is. So you see that conflict. That shows some kind of poor leadership. Because my desire is to come and work with all MCAs. MCAs, they are supposed to work well with their member of parliament. That collaboration is very important. Its leadership starts at home. If you're not able to work with cooperation with your MCAs or with your member of parliament, that creates a lot of conflict. That is why some people are claiming huko ni kwako, huko ni kwa mwingine. Infrastructure is very important. My goal is to come and connect everybody to road network. When we choose which roads to build and leave others, that is the basis of corruption. When we have contracts to build roads and contracts are given to people from other counties or other cities, while our people are reeling in poverty, our young men can be able to be incorporated into infrastructure building. That is corruption. My goal is to come and work with the people of SUBUKIA. When we talk about a wall is broken, when we already have sitting elected officials and yearning even for higher offices, we need to ask ourselves, is this really what we are trying to achieve as Subukians? We need, and I agree with Dr. Mbae, we need a new breed of leadership. Somebody who is able to manage, somebody who is God-fearing, somebody who can appropriate for public funds, somebody who can manage resources that are coming, somebody who is able to lobby out there. And not only that, even table bills in parliament. This is important, that we need to have pride in our people, our leadership, that we are able even to table bills in parliament. We need to have an active member of parliament who is able to go out there and represent the people of Subukia. Infrastructure is key. Infrastructure is the basis of development. Without passable roads, there is no market for our goods. Without passable roads, there is no good education. Without passable roads, we cannot claim of healthcare. And healthcare is big, and we will talk about that. And you mentioned right now, somebody coming from Getora coming to shopping center in Kabazi for healthcare. When roads are impassable and you are invalid, it deteriorates your condition. And we need to be compassionate about this. So leadership also is compassionate. When you have the need of that Wanjiko on the ground, you will be able to identify their problems and solve them selflessly, using all the resources at your disposal.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable DK. Now, I want to look at our online army. Thank you, everyone that is watching. There's so many people who are asking questions. Well, we don't have much time so that we can answer everything here. We'd like to talk a lot about other things. I think this just will be the debut debate. We'll come back and finish up on these issues. We're going to, for our online army, we're going to collect all these questions that you have written here, and we are going to use them for the next debate. Now, we are going to wrap up in the next few minutes, but before we do that, I would like our aspirants to one major question that I want to ask is about corruption. And in Kenya, corruption is rampant. We know that. We all, as I said before, we only see MPs during the election, not just MPs, all the elected members. Most of them, we see them during election period and just the last few months before the other general election, like we are seeing them now. And we have seen a lot of corruption. people dishing out tenders to or influencing tenders to go to their relatives, to their kin. If it's bursaries or whatever, they are going to their own people or their own area where they prefer. If it's development, we are seeing them just going where they prefer. They're skipping other places. There's a lot of corruption, especially when it comes to tendering and stuff like that. I want to ask our aspirants today, Honorable Mbae, Honorable Mwaura, what is your plan to eradicate corruption in the constituency? And can you be trusted in this position with all the money that comes with it? There's a county budget, there's a constituency budget. Can you be trusted? Can you be entrusted with this money? Can you be entrusted as that person who is trustworthy to make sure that whatever you have been allocated, you are a good steward? Let's start with Honorable Mbae.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now, first, it's good to mention.
You always start with Dr. Mbae, but that's okay. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no.
Go
I
ahead.
mean,
With me,
Ambassador, DK is not the host of the program. He should wait for his time. Let's go through. So, two things.
You just spoke, so let's have Dr. Mbae speak.
Yeah. So let's agree so that as we move, please let us not mishandle this story of Nehemiah, because now Nehemiah, I said I left the County Public Service Board position, a very high position, to go down to become an MCA. That is when my journey as a Nehemiah started. The journey is not yet over. My journey was to do 5 years as an MCA and do another 5 years as an MP. So that's number one. Number two, when you talk about my 4th-year report card, DK is actually my voter, so to speak. He comes from my ward. He has every right, when I release a report, either by himself or by proxy, to ask people to go around and find out whether what I have said in the report is there. Then he can engage me as a person who as an MCA, is MCA. He has every right. If he has not done so 3 months later, it means what I said is true. But number three, DK have said that when he comes to Kabazi, the roads are pathetic. And he mentioned all roads. I would want him now today, seated where he is, to mention to me the road that is pathetic, that is done by the county government right now. Let us not go to stories. You know, maybe you came to Kabazi like a year, 2 years ago. Transformation is happening by the day. You know, so let him say the road that is supposed to be done by the MCA, which is pathetic. We already did 200 roads just recently. We have done Marab. So let him say which road that happens to be, so that he doesn't take advantage of the fact that he's there. I know he uses a lot of Zoom meetings, photos. Why can't his people go and take those Zoom meetings, and then he can be sure about what they're talking about? And you see, the good thing about DK, Ambassador, something many people don't know. DK is my good friend.
This accusation, Dr. Mbae, so let him respond to that. Mr. DK, just a minute. Mr. DK, is it true that you know SUBUKIA through Zoom?
Yeah, he is always in Zoom meeting.
You know, Dr. Mbae is a very good friend of mine. We have ate nyamatoma with him so many times. I don't know why, how you can eat nyamatoma on Zoom. So
when is the last time you were in Kenya? When is the last time you were in SUBUKIA?
Sorry?
When is the last time you were in SUBUKIA?
I was in SUBUKIA in 2020, January. I was there. So
it's almost a year since you were in SUBUKIA.
And then we have to know, when the pandemic hit, a lot of traveling was restricted. Now that is opened, as a matter of fact, Dr. Mbae, I want to welcome you, because you'll be one of my people to give me a homecoming. So that
when is your homecoming?
I come. And then when you mentioned about Nehemiah, which is okay, and I said I'm not trying to equate myself, but I was making a reference. If he was here when I was making that reference, it is important to know that when you make such a reference, is because something is broken. If something is broken now, and they are sitting elected officials, then we need to check their scorecard as well. But I don't know whether it's my time to talk about corruption.
Dr. Mbae has not even talked about corruption.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Dr. Mbae.
Thank you. Thank you. And Ambassador, it's good to say we are waiting for, actually all through we have been waiting for DK. Everybody is saying, who is this DK? I hear he's organizing to be received at the airport and all that. But we agree with DK because we are friends. And by the way, when I say friends, it's good to put this perspective. This is what we are looking at. It's a time for professionals to come in and help and build capacity for Subukia. Now, as late as when I reached my report card, DK has been part of my Subukia Professionals Forum. He has been part of the people who have been coming to aid my idea of education to come and speak mentorship in schools. What I've been doing in Kabazi, adopt a school mentorship program. When he comes over, I take him and he goes around. Actually, when I reached my report card in August, he said, good job. We are supporting you in August. Then, of course, things happened. You know, these things in Africa, you don't want to vie. It's people who tell you to vie. You know, what walikuja kwangu, they told me to vie. So we are waiting for DK. But one thing you need to know, Ambassador, is that we were in school with DK, doing political science at the University of Nairobi. But, okay, DK in the middle, he got green card. He left for the US. I don't know even when he finished whether he finished the degree for political science, but I know he did other things in the US. So he is my friend. We talk every day.
Correction,
and he's a very good friend of mine. So let's talk about corruption. Let's talk about corruption. So now,
Ambassador,
let's talk about corruption.
Let me make a statement.
Dr. Mbae, he's entitled to respond.
Can I finish my contribution? Ambassador,
let me mention that before you go to corruption, you cannot base your corruption statement on a corrupt statement as well, because that statement about political. Number one, when we were in Nairobi University, I was not studying political science. I was doing economics. And political science, we were only meeting, I was doing philosophy and economics. So in the philosophy class, that is where we used to meet with Mbae. That is where we shared one lecturer or two lecturers in philosophy, but it's not political science. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
You need to rectify that, Dr. Mbae.
I'll rectify. We used to meet, but he's the one who, I didn't know what he was doing, but it's good that he has clarified. And I wish you the best. We are very proud of you. And but in the opening statement, you know, it's good to say, DK would have said, I came, I did some studies at the University of Nairobi. I came to the US, I proceeded with the studies, I finished this, I did nursing, so that we know DK. You know, introduction, a small profile. It's important next time, Ambassador. Maybe in the closing remarks.
Right from the beginning, when we
but
were
because I'm not the one, no, I mean, but Ambassador, because I'm not the host,
it is good that God has helped you to attain the PhD, and I'm praying that I'll get there. But I have helped a lot of people rise up from the ground, getting their undergraduate degrees as well from Subukia. And here we are not here to do some bragging rights about what kind of education we have. People pretty much might not care too much about how you know, but how much you care about your problems, about their problems. And we are here because we care. I'm here because I care. When I see my people suffering without healthcare, when I see my people suffering without roads, without electrification, when I see people being skipped when electrification is being done, I hurt and I have to speak out. The reason why I'm able to come and declare that I'm running is because even though we have come to bring our expertise as professionals, some of what we have tried to push has not been adhered to. So my goal is to come and bring this expertise, my training, my capacity in the medical field, as well as in economics, to see how we can improve the lives of these people. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's try to let each other talk. So, Dr. Mbae, please complete on the corruption part. I think we still haven't finished that.
Yeah, let me get on that. And I'm sorry. And next time, Ambassador, before somebody speaks, you have to give them permission. Somebody cannot get in the debate without your permission. I'm sorry. And Ambassador, I want to be very clear on record. I'm not saying that education. Actually, in my reports, I've said capacity is more important. There are people who are educated who are not able to have the capacity for political leadership. I was only saying that it's good for someone to give their background. People have been asking, who is DK? What has he been doing in the US? So that's not bad to ask. I'm also a voter in Subukia, right? So corruption. Now, Ambassador, the reason why there is a lot of corruption is because leaders don't want to be transparent. It's because an MP, for example, I mean, in counties is different because all what we do, as we just recommend projects to be done by the county government, procurement and all that. But in CDF, the MP is a patron. Most times, the MP do not want to be transparent. About that, why you see so many contractors coming from outside the constituency when we have people who can do the works? Because the MP cannot entrust to get the 10% from the local contractors. That's why they have to make sure they have contractors from outside, because they can go outside, meet them outside, and get some kickbacks.
How are you sure you're not going to get some kickbacks yourself?
I'm just talking. I mean, we are coming to rectify this. Why am I talking about it? Because I know it happens. And my plan is this. Ambassador, I want the 137 million that comes to Subukia constituency every year will be spent in Subukia. We are going to build capacity for local contractors, companies, and all that. Now, I belong to the UDA part of government that is coming to form the next government. That's Subukia. Now, let me tell you how we are going to do it. We'll make sure that this money, we're going to lend it to companies that are going to do government jobs, so that we build capacity by giving them capital. Then we come and give them back. In short, and I want you to mark this, Ambassador, today. We are going to help groups of border. As we speak today, I have done like 2 circles for border. Already, one team in Kabazi has already 3 million in their account. I am helping them to form a company. It's made up of 8 young people who are going to work for CDF. They are going to do classes. They are going to do all these kind of things. I have already formed other groups. I'm helping them to form companies so that we build capacities in Subukia. Ambassador, if you have those guys like 50, 80, they are not, some of them are plumbers, some of them are fundis, they are carpenters. They cannot be defeated to do a school and a class. That way, I have no intention to come back and ask for 10%, because now that is where the problem is. Once we become transparent in the CDF, I have not seen, Ambassador, at least showing the distribution of the money where it has gone for the last 3 years. I have not seen that accountability. I have not seen. I'm able to tell you how much I have shared out the word kit from the governor, how I to the projects. I have not seen that in the CDF. I'm going to put up every year the list of what we have done and the money, and actually who is a contractor and where the contractor came from. We are going to, that is transparency. If you have transparency, Ambassador, corruption is going to be stamped out. That is what I intend to do. Now, you can mark, I think, again, you are recording this conversation. I'm going to ask all the people with capacity, including that public participation, to register in my office. All those companies, what do you do? How far can you do? Then, this is what we are going to do. There are some professionals, for example, Ambassador, who may be working outside Subukia, but they come from Subukia. We are going to have them maybe and then these other small companies are going to be subcontracted. So they are going to learn how work is done. But all of them have to be Subukia, not unless, Ambassador, there are some jobs requiring specialized whatever that we can pick from outside. But we are going to try as much as possible. That one, we kill corruption. Let me tell you something. The reason why corruption is too much is about the motive of the leader. If the MP knows very well that they are here to serve, they are not going to go into those other things. Openness in tenders, or the one that 7 million, we are going to go that direction. So I'm committed.
Thank you.
To zero tolerance to corruption, and I'm going to do it.
Thank you. Now, just in brief, I'm going to read a comment from Elias Mwangi, who is also vying to be the MCA for Kabazi, if he's watching us. Thank you, Elias, for this question. And he's actually gonna take over from you. That's what he's intending. Now, he's saying there was a question of integrity which was directed to Dr. Honorable Mbae, which was trending through WhatsApp video. Can Mbae clarify to the audience about it? Do you know anything about this?
Which one is that?
There was a video that was trending about your integrity.
Now I don't know which one is that, about what particular. I mean, there are so many issues and questions that
if you haven't seen it, then that's fine. We'll talk about it some other time. But that is something that people wanted clarified here online. But if you haven't had it, then you need to see it first.
Okay.
All right, but it's all about your integrity as the MCA of Kabazi. So we'll talk about that maybe in the next debate. So to evaluate what you've done and you have already explained what you've done, but we wait to hear what this is all about. You go and watch it and let us know in the next debate. Now, thank you everyone that is watching, and like I said before, we are going to collect all these questions and ask them in the next debate. Now, Honorable DK, what are you going to do to eradicate corruption in the constituency about this tendering? Dr. Mbae has explained that we need to trust him. He's the man. What about you? Are you a person we can trust? Are you a good steward with our money?
Thank you so much. Before I answer that question, Dr. Mbaye mentioned that people have been asking who is this DK. So that is hearsay. When you hear people asking, he's tabling it here to also ask. And the video, and I was saying that to refer to the video that I hear. I've also had people asking about the coffee mill in Jumatatu or something like that, some misappropriation. But I don't know. It's the same thing that he's hearing about Mwaura DK and he's asking. So I'm also asking on his behalf if he can clarify. I think that is the integrity question they are asking. But let me talk about corruption. Virtues, although they are learned, most of our virtues are innate. It depends on your upbringing. Upbringing is very important. I was brought up to depend on myself, to depend on my sweat. My good friend Dr. Mbae made a reference that we are all Christians, and also I'm a preacher. As a preacher, I stand by my message. I don't preach water and drink wine. So virtues, although they are learned, some virtues are innate. A God-fearing leader cannot dare squander public money, either through kickbacks or in tendering or through inflation of cost of services. And we have seen that. We have seen projects being inflated. For example, we can say maybe a water pump might cost something to do with 60,000 shillings or 300,000 shillings, but it is quoted to cost 150, 1.5 million. So that kind of inflation. This is land. As a leader, we are supposed to abide by Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya, leadership and integrity. And it is very important to know that I will abide by this. Where does corruption start for leaders? Although some of the corrupt practices are in it, somebody grows up being corrupt. They have acquired their wealth through corruption and their way of doing business along the way. But when you decide to vie, and this is out there in the public, this is not a lie, that running for public office is very expensive. Sometimes people don't have enough resources to run for these offices. They get funding from other people. And you have to assure these people who are funding you that when you get the position, you will include them in your government. Not only that, you will be tendering for them. Corruption starts from who is sponsoring you. Number one, then I have decided for myself, I will not accept any money from anybody coming to sponsor me to run my campaign so that I can show them some favors when I get to that office. The money that I'm using is the money and the trust God has given me and my family and my wife, to speak when I speak about family. We trust in God, and we have seen the pain of our people in SUBUKIA. We have said we will not receive any funding from anybody who will also come back and arm twist me for tendering. Now, let's talk about tendering. To ensure that there is transparency and accountability, the tendering process will be merit-based, but not by favor or canvassing. And this is what we have seen in the past. We are not coming to do people's favors. We are coming to offer services. And services we will offer merit-based. SUBUKIA residents I will encourage them to apply for these tenders and to be part of the growth of our SUBUKIA. And this is an experience that they have not received before. We have seen other people from other counties, as I mentioned, and Dr. Mbae also have mentioned, and other people have mentioned that they have seen other people getting tendering from outside. Why? Because these are the people that pushed whoever is sitting in the office, and they have to twist them for that services. Asking the locals to do the tenders will ensure that there is quality and accountability. Since when you are a local and you are given a project to work on a road, you want to give the best services, so that because we know you, we know huyu wa pale maombi, huyu ndiye alitengeneza hii barabara, tuambie ulifanya ni. So we are able to point out, other than corrupt leaders will bring other people from outside. I will ensure that capacity and capability and experience are rewarded, and that is not what we see. We have very capable people in Subukia who can construct roads, who can build schools, who can tender for these services we are talking about, even healthcare. This is something that we will search for people with capacity, capability, and experience. And we have a transparency and clear, accountable tendering process. Can I be trusted with your money? Oh, yes, I can be trusted with your money. I am a person of integrity and God-fearing, and I believe in spending the last cent in the cause it was initiated and purposed for. I am a manager, I'm a custodian, and the most important thing, I am a servant.
Thank you, Honorable DK. Thank you, Honorable Mbae. Now, we are going to wrap it there tonight. However, I want them to have a parting shot just to their voters, and also remind them to subscribe to Diaspora TV Australia. I'll start with you, Dr. Mbae, then then Honorable Mwaura. You just give your parting shot. So, over to you, Dr. Mbae. Well, I think we may have lost Dr. Mbae. That's why we were trying to wrap it quick. We may have lost him due to some technicalities. However, Mwaura DK, just give you a parting shot, and then we will wrap our show there.
Number one, I really want to thank you, Ambassador John, for giving us this opportunity to talk to our people. Our people are suffering. There is a government in place. There is people, elected officials in place. Yet there is no healthcare. There is no services that are rendered. Our schools are in shambles. When we talk about building classes, our students are walking on impassable roads. There is no water, drinking water, and water is the basis of our health. And my goal, number one, is to come and with every resources possible, and even lobbying for organization outside Subukia to make sure that every home in Subukia is connected to water in my first 3 years. And this is possible. It is possible to do this. My goal is to work on the preventative care of healthcare, where we provide clean drinking water, education. The other day we had there was an initiative in Subukia talking about diabetes. We need people to be trained how to manage chronic illnesses, because we are losing a lot of men. We need to think about men. And let me tell you, Ambassador, on my parting shot, men have been forgotten. Men have been forgotten. Once a man retires and goes home, the government doesn't care nothing about you. They talk about women empowerment, youth empowerment, and all this empowerment, and men are left, and men are dying of depression and mental health. These are issues that we left out in this debate, and I would really desire to come and talk about my goal for healthcare and men in our constituency. Youth are standing in poverty with lack, and they are educated. The people of Subukia are not invalids. The people of Subukia are not disadvantaged. The people of Subukia are denied opportunities for growth. They are denied opportunities by the same things we are talking about: corruption. We are talking about lack of leadership, lack of accountability, lack of integrity. These are the things that have continued to squeeze life out of our youth. If we create good channels of employment, if we bring back agribusiness in our constituency, if we start creating a whole value chain of line of production in Subukia. Subukia was a hotbed for agriculture: tomatoes, pyrethrum, maize, And even right now, we are talking about avocados. Let's think about how we can start adding value into our products, building factories that will absorb our youth into employment. So youth
Thank you.
agenda is very important. Also, we need to start thinking about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN that we can implement in SUBUKIA in line of capacity building, in line of global warming, in line of agriculture and fighting poverty. These are goals, clean and drinking water and universal health care. These are issues that we will collaborate, and going by the policy of the bottom-up economics, where we are able to identify the needs of Wanjiko on the ground and empower them to grow up and middle out. This is a platform that we will, and coming from an economic perspective, I'm able to manage your resources and to understand these kind of economic policies that will affect growth and development. Our
Thank
people
you.
deserve better. Our people need to be better. We need to raise SUBUKIA standard to the global setting. The world has become a global economy. The world,
Yes.
it doesn't matter whether you are in Australia or you are in the US or you are in Botswana. We are working as one. We need to acknowledge the technology that has come and involve our people in growth
Thank
and
you.
development. So my goal
Thank,
is to come and grow SUBUKIA. My parting shot,
thank
I
you.
want to thank so much my good friend Dr. Mbae for the good debate and the insights that we bring. We all acknowledge that leadership is required in SUBUKIA, and we are coming
Thank you.
to offer that. Thank you so much, Dr. Mbae, for what you have done. My only request is, you talked about you by 2022 August, you will have done 75% of what you are elected to do. My prayer is, if you can just stay there, we keep you there as the MC of Kabazi, and then we push you to finish that 25% that you have left out, because we want watu wa Kabazi wa nini uwamalizie kazi the next 5 years. It will be good, and then me being there, because we are friends and we will be able to work together. As I mentioned, my goal is to work with all MCAs in all levels of growth and development of the people of Subukia. Subukia, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being part of this, and subscribe to Diaspora TV Australia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DK. For sure, politicians never finish. Okay, I can see Dr. Mbaye now. Do you want to give your parting shot?
Let me be fast because I have technical issues. I'm going to go off anytime. If I go off, allow me to come back and finish. Now, sorry, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Subukia. Or what I can say, I'm committed. I know how. I have the timelines. DK, I didn't say 75%. By next year, I'll have done 80 to 85% by August, almost 90, 85%. Now, but Ambassador, to be fair, let you know, I'm debating DK, but in leader, who is DK? Where is he? Can he come to the ground for a month? On the ground, we need to put on the ground because that okay. Here I'm just.
It's like we have lost Dr. Mbaye.
We have lost him, and I obliged to his invitation, although it's already planned that I'll be on the ground
He's
for.
back. He's back.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Very fast because I have technical issues here. So please, I don't know. We are talking so much about 2 years ago is the last time in Subukia. Let's be fair to him. Why don't you suspend this debate? Let him come to the ground first. Let him go and meet about 100 villages that I've been covering myself. Let's talk when he's here. I think Ambassador, suspend this debate until DK come to the country. These two, even a road to his home, he doesn't know when it was made because he was here 2 years ago. Now, why can't do what he's still doing, saying I'm coming? Nikutisha tu anatisha kukuja na hajaifika. So hii debate ya good debate, anaongea mambo mingi kwa hewa. It's good to come and see some of you talking about, oh, nothing is happening, oh, nothing is going on. Please, let us be fair to Wanjiko. Let's be fair to Subukia people. Wacha DK akuje kwanza, nasikia anachukuliwa kwa airport, afike Nakuru, we meet. Then from there, talk about other things. I mean, no, we cannot be Subukia like this. This is a joke.
Unajua,
We
I have
cannot be
seen him with
Subukia.
photos. Amepigwa na Matiang'i. So that means that is not for this year. Dr. Mbae and I experienced some technical issues.
I think he has technical difficulties, but whatever he's
He's back.
Hold on a minute. No, I have visual. You see, Ambassador, what are we taking Wajiko for? Yani tunaongelea Wajiko tukiwa US. What is it? What are we taking Wajiko wa SUBUKIA to be? No. By the way, DK angeacha hizi ma interview zake anashinda akifuatana za internet na Zoom. Aone Wajiko kwanza na macho kwanza. Mimi nimejipanga na nomination April. Mimi am busy. I want to do my work. I'm already planned out. Kampeni zangu zinaendelea. So kabla DK akuje hata hajatuambia ni chama gani anasimama nayo. Mimi am already an UDA aspirant, a strong front runner. Hatujui. Sasa anahangisha watu ya SUBUKIA ati we are waiting for somebody who is going to come na dege. Sasa na hii uchaguzi anasimama ya 22 ama ya 27. Which election is he working? Atakuwa amemaliza all these villages miezi 3 miezi 4. Hasemi chama, hasemi kama ni wa mrengo gani, ni kubangaisha tu SUBUKIA wasikie kuna mtu ako majuu kutoka US.
It is smoking here if you are joining us now.
I will be able to stand by the same sentiment when I land on the ground. And I thank that he has said that he has campaign going on. My campaign is also has already been launched.
Dr. Mbae, we keep losing you.
Yeah, ikienda off mimi naenda off sasa. Please, let us be here to SUBUKIA person. DK kuja. Wewe uliniambia ulikuwa ni support until August. Then ukasema watu wamekuita. Kuja uangalie area. Kuja tufanye kazi. 2027 huko mbele, let me set the standard. Then utakuja usimame. Hata mimi nilianzia MCA with all my credentials. So, it's not easy ati unakuja tu na unachaguliwa. Watu wanataka kujua mtu ni nani. Si rahisi. Utakuja tu utajaribu, lakini kupata kiti si rahisi namna hiyo. Me I thinking you come tufanye kazi na wewe because I will never deny you are my friend. Tutafanya kazi na wewe uzunguke uone venye kampeni inafanyagwa, kuonyesha all these areas, ujue all the villages, Teto Arash wapi huko Mehango huko kwenda mpaka chini huko Bogoini kabla ujue uchaguzi itakuwa imefika August. So huwezi julikana na uchaguliwe the same year. Mimi my advice to you as a friend, hii nimeongea kama rafiki by the way. And I hope you take it as a friend advising you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mbae. Thank you. I have to end this debate now. It's late.
Allow me to just make a statement on that. Dr. Mbae is alluding that I don't know SUBUKIA. I know SUBUKIA very well. When I started earlier than him because I was a youth leader in SUBUKIA even before I came to the US. And I used to go from Kiporojo all the way away.
No, listen, Ambassador. Mutu akitoa final remarks, you don't go back. We are done. That is the best point to finish this debate.
Nikukwama unakwama, Dr. Mbae.
No. Debate imeisha. Wacha, no. Can we agree? To be fair to the voter of SUBUKIA, wacha mwezi moja na nusu. One tumuone hapa. At least we can debate here locally now. Actually, hiyo TV Diaspora utakuja Kabazi hapo SUBUKIA ufanye live. This time round, let's do live. Mtu tunaona hata tunamwona tu kwa picha. No, we cannot continue this again. Hata kuja ground azunguke mwezi moja man. Tumuonyeshe area. Let's stop these online things na Zoom. Kwa huko wengi hata una Zoom. Those women in those villages, they don't know Zoom. So let's be fair to them. You know, DK uchunge sana to spend so much on Zoom people. Najua unaweza kuwa na watu wengi wanakuambia kampeni inaendelea hata na ujeu waona hata wewe
umepotea tena Dr. Mbae.
Daktari ananihurumia. Sitaki huruma kwa sababu watu wa SUBUKIA wanataka uongozi.
Sasa Ambassador, we have agreed on that. Ambassador, tulikubaliana kitambo. We want leadership. We agreed.
Unaenda we are our viewers without
Ambassador, we are only 4 months. DK, ambia auliza DK, we are only 4 months to nominations. We know we want leadership. But surely, kindly, na DK ningekuadvise uko na timu nyingi ground make sure you monitor what they do because watu wanaweza kuambia wanakufanyia kazi ground, ukifika hapa utashangaa. Watu utakumbuka hata wanakula. SUBUKIA. Why don't you come fast uone kama wale watu wanakufanyia kampeni watu wako wapi? You know, also I'm telling this as my friend. Unajua unaweza kuwa unasukumwa na watu lakini hujajipanga kukuja Kenya. So just manage your expectations. Wacha
Thank you.
tuchukue kiti.
I really
Mimi
appreciate.
nitakupatia, I will appoint you to the board ya national government in the board. Please, let's decide the day you are ready to come back to Kenya. Let's start from there,
I
Ambassador.
would say you guys, whoever gets in, to make sure they take care of the other one, more appoint each other. Whoever gets in.
Ni vizuri
You both are wonderful
Ambassador, please
guys.
unipe one minute ndio
Sawa sawa
nirudishie Mbae just for conclusion.
sawa, usikia.
Yeah, Dr. Mbae, I want to thank you for your observation and concerns. And we keep losing you, and I'm doing this out of courtesy that we don't want to leave the audience just watching the screen. It is good to appreciate that we have people who have traveled, who have the heart of Subukia at heart, and who are compassionate and able to empathize with the needs of our people. And that is the kind of a leader I am. And I will be with you like I have been. And Mbae cannot deny that we have been on the ground. Just for political purposes, he might allude that I've not been on the ground, but for the sake of the people that know how we care about their issues, they know that I've been on the ground. I want to thank you, all of you, and I want to welcome you. I'm coming on the ground, and I've been on the ground. I started leadership a long time ago. I was saying that before I was a little bit interrupted. So all those areas that he's mentioning, I used to grow tomatoes myself in Solai areas. So I know hiyo barabara ya Getora nikileta nyanya Kabazikanas. So all those areas I know, I have worked, I have preached, I have ministered, I have empathized and worked with vulnerable people. Thank you so much.
Now I have to end this debate there. Thank you so much, Mwaura. Thank you so much, Mbae. You guys are wonderful. And like I said, whoever gets in, all the best. And make sure you take care of the other. Appoint each other. You guys can make a wonderful team. Thank you for honoring the call and coming to Diaspora TV Australia. Thank you, everyone that is watching us online. May God bless you so much for tuning in. I think you have had a lot of good issues. Now, we have not gone even through, maybe we have done 75% of the questions that we had. Now we will come back. We are going to strategize again and come back and ask all these questions, especially like what Mwaura said about healthcare. We will tackle that. Insecurity. There are so many issues that we are going to look into. And we welcome every other candidate. We are not biased here. And I want to make and to set the record straight here. We welcomed every other candidate, but they refused to come. Only Honorable Mwaura and Honorable Mbae honored our call. So if I heard that they are complaining out there that they were not invited, yes, they did get the invite, but they refused. So it's up to them. And next time, if they want to join us, we are free to have them on the show and have a good debate together with every aspirant, give everyone a chance. And let me set this clear that Diaspora TV Australia is unbiased. We do not support any of them. We support everyone, whoever gets in, all the best, and we support them. God bless you so much for watching, and I pray that next time we shall have a very good debate too. And thank you to everyone that was involved in planning this. I haven't seen Karanja Kamau, who was very instrumental in setting this up. He's called the director of SUBUKIA. Thank you, Karanja Kamau, Selina, and Jerry Queens, Samaritan, Benson Samaritan. I will mention some names here. Thank you, Stephen Kagenya. Thank you, all those people, Stephen Kanogo, is it Stephen or Maina? Maina Kanogo, Elias Kamau, all the online army and the marketing team that has been marketing this debate. For sure, you can see that right now we have like 3 people on board, and it's because of their effort that people are watching this. They have watched you, and it will be distributed over and over in all the places. And I know you, Dr. Mbae, you Honorable Mwaura, you are going to get a lot of votes out of this because of your manifestos. Now, Diaspora TV will come back to bring this debate once again. And we thank you so much. Make sure you follow this page so that next time we go live, you will know. Follow this page, Diaspora TV Australia. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Patreon. Now, let me talk about Patreon. Go to Patreon, Diaspora TV Australia. There, you can partner with us. You can decide to be giving us something after every month, every week, up to you. Even $1, we appreciate. Whatever. Just go there, support us so that we can be able to bring such debates to you. Thank you so much for watching. It's good night here from South Australia. It's 11:30. I know it's sometimes about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. in Nairobi. Thank you so much. Watu ya Kamukunji mahali ninatoka, wa Muhoro Jesse, watu wa pale Kamukunji wote mbarikiwe sana kwa kuwatch. Watu wa pale wa Seges, watu wa Kabazi. I used to come to Kabazi kupeleka nyanya pale Kabazi Kanas. I know all those areas. Na mbarikiwe sana watu wa constituency ya Subukia, and I wish you all the best. God bless you and good night.